Yo, what's up? It's your boy Currency 365. Hope you guys are doing well. Legends never die, they stay in our hearts. If you want to support us, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also you can come down here and hit the join button under the video or in our channel section. And you can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/currency365. And we also have Cash App and also PayPal for supports if you want to sow some seeds. Peace out. God bless. Enjoy the video and keep the movement going. Legends. Bye.
And things start to happen, they're not going to not revalue the currency. They will revalue it. What it does is it gives you signals on you need to exchange and get out if it, when it revalues. Value is added. Mark my words, ladies. I'm just throwing this out as a caution on breaking it down technically how it works. But that's how the United States works, and that's what we're doing. So from a religious perspective, what do? We make sure that nobody, the Muslims, the Catholics, the Hebrew, nobody controls the Holy Land as far as a religion goes. Everybody has access to it. All right, so nobody can create the religious manifest destiny and say we're the chosen ones. That's the number one Anglo-Saxon priority. That's it. Number two is the rimland that protects our markets. Make sure that we have access to all the gateways on the planet, and make sure nobody can create the Russians, Iran, and the Chinese get together and be able to attack that. And that's what we're trying to prevent right now. That's a part of Ukraine. It has nothing to do with Jesus or Putin or the gay community or anything like that. It is about markets. It is about GDP. That's what it's all about. The formula I always talk about: resources and manpower equals production. Production equals wealth, and wealth equals power. And that's it. The rest is all right? So first is you make sure that nobody has a manifest destiny where they can create a religious empire. Second is to make sure that the gateways to all our potential customers is open, because that's our keys. The reason we're a trade empire is because we have more customers than everybody else. And even if let's say if China has more customers, our customers have more money than let's say if their population is bigger. So not only that we have a bigger customer base, but our customers actually have money. All right. Second, the third part of the equation, United States, is our power is getting everybody addicted to the U.S. dollar. There doesn't have to be one thing, you guys. Let's say this talk that's out there about the petrodollar falling. Okay, so it's not tied to petro anymore. What about all the other goods on the planet? How do people get stuck on one thing? I never get that. I know it works in conspiracy fields because most people are idiots, and these guys can get away with anything. They could say anything, and the conspiracy crowd just buys it right there, right on the spot. All right, but it's a mix. The next gold is microchips. Why do you think we're bringing all our factories back to the United States? The high-end factories, by the way. You guys, it is happening right now under your nose. How people can't see it, they don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right, so we're the United States. Here's the other question. Make sure I read this correctly. The question is, Tony, I'm watching inflation, because we have inflation, but I keep reading the articles. We're having record market rallies. Bingo. I love this crowd for doing that. All right. What do? You guys have regular jobs. You're out there. You're trying to do the best you can for you and your family, and you can't get a group of guys that got a master's degree in economics that ask these correct questions. So that's why I'm proud of you guys. That's why I stick around. That's why I like you guys. But here's what's going on. All right. Artificial inflation, ladies and gentlemen. It's artificial inflation. China is about to devalue the yuan. That's why the price of gold is going up, because they want to have gold and the value going up to make up for them devaluing their own currencies. Like, Tony, why would they do that? Because they have no choice. That's why. They need to make it cheaper because things are about to get expensive. Does that make sense? Things are about to get expensive for China. They're going to be cut off. The United States, we just cut off Russia. All right? We're going to keep cutting their economy off. It's a sad thing to say, but we don't want to a quick war, a win, a path to victory for Ukraine. What we're looking for is to suffocate Russia a little bit by a little bit by a little, so their internal system comes apart. That's our strategy. That's it. People say, well, we don't have a winning strategy. Yes, we do. It's just not what people want it to be or what they think about it. Not only that, but you got to think about that. You got to be, you got to think and be sensitive to the position the Ukrainians are in. But here's the reality, you guys. Ukraine is one of the most corrupt countries on the planet. And it's like, yeah, that's why the Russians shit. Well, no. The reason Ukraine is one of the most corrupt countries on the planet is because it was ran like a carbon copy of Russia. All right, so we're not interested because Ukraine is, they're the children of God. You know what I mean? That's not what's going on here. We're trying to stop the Russian from expanding and closing in on our markets. So their GDP grows and our GDP shrinks. That's it. So, we spend $1 trillion a year on military equipment. Well, if we lose market influence, we're not going to make that much money, are we? So we're not going to have $1 trillion a year budget for our military. And I don't know why people don't understand. I know you guys understand that, but it seems that people don't have a grasp on this. It's always something political or something spiritual, and none of it's real. It is GDP. It is how much money is Russia making? How much do they want to make? They don't want to develop products like we do. They're lazy shits. They're corrupt. You and I are innovators. We do anything. Think about it. You and I got together because we see this opportunity in Iraqi currency. So we're always looking around and stuff like that. It's not that Russian people don't have that ability, that they don't do that. It's just that the people at the top sure as hell don't. This garbage about the American military-industrial complex. Well, what about the Russian military-industrial complex? Where Russia, outside of energy, where Russia makes its money? They make its money selling weapons to everyone on the planet. Every crud, every dictator, you name it. So it's kind of strange to hear the Russians about them getting attacked by ISIS or whatever on their homeland with weapons that they sold to them in the first place. It doesn't wash. It's nuts. It's all nuts. It's crazy. So what we have to do is Russia has a 2.5 to 3 trillion a year GDP, and we're just going to suffocate it. Same thing with China. China's 2040 goal is over with. They weren't going to hit that the day Trump put tariffs on China. That was over with. All right. If you guys notice, we put more tariffs on them, and we did the CHIP Act, and we did the PG2 Act, which is we're raising $600 billion, $300 billion from the United States, $300 billion from Europe, and rebuilding our infrastructure. All right. And by the way, that's, it's like, China's begging for investment money and private money to go into China. Well, even if people wanted to and had the opportunity to do it, they wouldn't, because they know that the infrastructure that we're building here in the United States is worth even more money. It has a higher ceiling for growth. So China's in deep trouble, man. They are in deep, deep trouble. So we'll see how this stuff works out. But so we covered Hezbollah going to Baghdad. That's bad news. That's bad news, man. So this came out a while back, but I wanted to let it shake down because immediately Hezbollah denied it. And it's like, okay, where's this information come from? Well, it's coming from legitimate private intelligence companies that are being used by the CIA. The CIA contracts them out, so it is legitimate information. The question is, now that they got caught, the offer's on the table. Will they actually do it? Because somebody probably went, after this, somebody probably went to Baghdad, to Iraq, to the parliament, and say, hey, we're not going to stop you guys from doing it, but you do realize that you're not going to be part of our markets. You do realize that they're being sponsored by Iran. Iran doesn't want you to be part of our markets. That's a completely different lifestyle for you, just so you know, just to be clear. You're not going to be buying, the best of the best. Your families aren't, you're going to live that 12th century lifestyle. That's what you want. Great. So it is interesting, but you guys, whatever side of the coin it drops on, you guys need to be watching it. So just, if some of you guys out there that are smart and you use the RSS feeds as a radar on your computer, any keywords that come up, and then you get the news articles that are attached to it. Anything. So I don't know if you guys know how to do that, but you might want to Google and check it out, or find a YouTube. How do you do that? How do you create a radar where if a certain word comes up, or title, whatever you want, it'll bring up every article, everything said about it. So it's kind of interesting. But having said that, you guys, that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to go through and make sure you guys understood how Iraq is attached to the United States and its system, the U.S. dollar. It's no different from any other country. None at all. None. It's the exact same thing. And then where's our money coming from for us to get in this type of debt? What do we expect after spending that money? There has to be a return. We have to pay the 4% or whatever the CD is that they bought, the time frame or whatever, when they bought the T-bills, the Treasury bills. We have to be able to build our infrastructure, make a profit, pay that debt off, and the people have to make an interest. So that's where we're getting the money. And there, a lot of it is from the federal government borrowing from the taxpayers paying. But I'm not going to give you the answer on the percentage, because what it does is you need to ask that question when these people throw out this, oh my God, we're 50 trillion in debt. It's like, well, look, do you want to build the infrastructure up or not? Yes. Okay, well, it costs money. And when you spend money, you need to make sure you spend it in such a way to where you get a return, right? Because that's what we're doing. So it's like, Tony, how do you have so much confidence in the future market? It's because of what we're spending. And so you're seeing a couple things. So out there, right? I've been reading. There's these companies out there. Like you have Red Lobster. They're shutting down storefronts. You have Hooters. They've shut. I think it's like 40 stores. All these sports bars, they're shutting down stores. It's like, oh my God, disaster! Look, the world's no. You guys, what they're doing is the market's changing, and they're cutting out the fat at a market that is changing. That market does not exist anymore, and they're putting their money somewhere else. Those locations are going to be auctioned off. They're going to get money out of it, and they're going to put that money somewhere else. They're going to park it somewhere else. It's not a big disaster. So the markets are changing. That's all it is. We have inflation because we're trying to make it as cheap as possible to get through this rebuilding stage. Period. End of story. Doesn't matter if Biden's in office. It doesn't matter if Trump's in office. Somebody in the middle. Doesn't matter if JFK Jr. is in office. We're going to have inflation. We have to have it. These pundits on these sites, stuff like that, they politicize everything and weaponize everything so much that people do not understand how, they never have a chance. They never have a chance to understand how this stuff is put together and what it is we're actually doing. How is it that the people who have money, they're not worried? They're the elite people. They're like, no, we know where to invest. We know where the money's going. They're not worried about it. They're all trying to start new different companies that have to do with AI and robotics and all this stuff. The lower half of it's like, oh my God, this is it. This is, no. You want money, you got to follow with the guys who are actually putting money out there. All right. What are they? Success leaves clues, ladies and gentlemen. How is it that the elite is floating money around like you can't believe? It's true. The richer, they're always going to, they can throw all the money, give it to the poor. And it'll end up right back in their hands because the people at the bottom, they just don't have it. It sucks to say that. It does, but they don't have it. They will lose it overnight. It'll go right back to the people who know how to innovate and create markets and create products and know what people want, I guess. You know what I mean? I guess that would be the biggest key is they know what people want. And so that's what they do. But anyways, on your radar, ladies and gentlemen, on your radar, watch to see if Hamas sets up shop, their headquarters in Baghdad. That's not good. It's not going to stop the revaluation. But I on a daily basis to this day, I still get, hey, how far can I go? Because I'll exchange some of my currency and then leave 1/3 in there and see how high it goes. I'm telling you right now, if Hamas sets up shop in Iraq, when it revalues, it starts going up. You need to get out. I'm not giving people financial advice, but that's what I'm doing. I'm going to get out, I should say. I'm going to get out as quickly as possible because that is bad news because the number one goal for Iran and Russia and China is to detach these countries and these markets from the U.S. dollar, and they will fail doing that. Doesn't matter if World War III comes up. Doesn't matter if nukes come up. They're going to fail at doing that. So with that, anybody have any questions? Breitling@gmail.com. And, I'll if you guys throw enough questions up there, I'll happily do another audio for you guys. So again, thank you so much for your patience and people sending me emails and you guys, what I do is when people send me emails and questions, I usually answer those questions. I don't do an audio. I'm probably going to answer your question. You know what I mean? So, don't be afraid to send me, hit me up with a question. But if I get a lot of them and you guys are asking a question about this, what we're talking about today, and it kind of pulls together, I'll put another audio up for you guys. So again, God bless you. Thanks everybody.
Hey, Tony, real quick.
Yes, sir.
Breitling, you said Breitling events. I think you meant Breitling currency, didn't you?
Yes, I'm sorry. Breitling currency. That's strange. I haven't said that email.
I know. That's weird.
Breitling currency @gmail.com. Thank you. That would have been a disaster. Because I would have never even looked. Next event, you guys. One of these days, I'll have another event, and that email will be relevant again. But thanks, everybody. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it.
All right.
And
later, guy.
Thanks, everybody.